Legends whispered of a lost kingdom, a kingdom veiled in mist and mystery. Its name, Arventia, a land where magic danced with reality, where mythical creatures roamed free. Arventia, once vibrant and alive, now lay hidden, lost to the world, but not forgotten. Stories of its wonders were passed down through generations, whispered around campfires, each word imbued with awe and longing. Some dismissed the tales. Mere fables, they claimed, imagination running wild. But others, those with a thirst for adventure, clung to the stories. They believed in the possibility. They dreamed of unveiling Arventia's secrets, of witnessing its magic firsthand. For it was said that Arventia was not truly gone. It was merely waiting for a soul pure of heart, a soul with an unquenchable thirst for truth. Only then would the mists part, revealing the path to the lost kingdom. Many had searched, but none had succeeded. Arventia remained elusive, its whereabouts a closely guarded secret. Yet the whispers persisted. Carried on the wind, they reached every corner of the realm, a constant reminder that magic, like hope, never truly dies. Arventia was more than just a kingdom. It was a feeling, a whisper in the breeze, a shimmer in the moonlight. It existed in the space between heartbeats, in the dreams of those who dared to believe. Once, it was a realm of breathtaking beauty. Lush forests teeming with life, crystal-clear rivers reflecting the azure sky. At its heart lay a magnificent castle, towers reaching for the heavens, its walls adorned with intricate carvings, each stone pulsed with ancient magic. This was the seat of Arventia's power, a beacon of hope in a world shrouded in darkness. But a shadow had fallen upon Arventia, a darkness that threatened to consume its light. With it, the mists came. Thick, impenetrable, they descended upon the land, veiling it from the world. The once vibrant kingdom fell silent, its magic seemingly extinguished. Yet, hope, like a flickering ember, refused to be extinguished. For deep within the heart of Arventia, magic still lingered, waiting for the day it would be rekindled, waiting for the touch of a pure soul, a soul that would break the curse and restore Arventia to its former glory. The question was not if, but when. When would fate intervene and guide the chosen one to Arventia's doorstep? The answer, as with all things destined, lay shrouded in the mists of time. Elara was different. From the moment she was found, a babe wrapped in furs left at the edge of the village, she possessed an otherworldly air. Her eyes, emerald green and flecked with gold, seemed to hold ancient secrets. Secrets whispered by the wind, sung by the river, and shared by the rustling leaves. The villagers took her in, raising her as their own, yet Elara never quite fit in. While other children chased butterflies and played tag under the sun, Elara sought solace in the embrace of the forest. The trees welcomed her, their branches parting as if in greeting. Animals, usually wary of humans, flocked to her side, drawn to her gentle touch and calming presence.
She understood the whispers of the wind, the murmuring of the stream, and the silent conversations of the trees.
Flowers bloomed brighter where she walked, their petals unfurling as if to greet her. Birdsong followed her through the woods, their melodies a symphony only she could truly understand. The villagers, witnessing these uncanny abilities, regarded Elara with a mixture of awe and apprehension. Some whispered of witchcraft, their voices tinged with fear. Others saw her as a blessing, a child touched by something extraordinary. But Elara paid no heed to their murmurs. She was content in her solitude, her spirit at peace in the heart of the wilderness. Life in the village flowed at a predictable pace. Days turned into months, months into years, marked by the changing seasons and the rituals of daily life. Children grew up, learning the trades of their parents, their paths laid out before them like well-trodden roads. But Elara yearned for something more. The confines of the village felt stifling, its routines mundane. Her spirit, wild and free, craved adventure, her heart echoing the call of the unknown. She spent hours poring over faded maps, her fingers tracing the edges of unexplored territories, her eyes shining with longing. The stories whispered around campfires, tales of daring quests and magical realms, ignited a fire within her soul.
She believed in the magic that lay beyond the horizon, in the adventures that awaited those brave enough to seek them.
Her heart ached with a yearning she couldn't quite understand, a longing for a place she'd never been, a destiny she could only glimpse in her dreams. She knew, with unwavering certainty, that her path lay beyond the familiar, beyond the safety of the village. She was meant for something more, something extraordinary. She was meant to find Arventia. It began with a whisper, a faint whisper carried on the wind, barely audible amidst the rustling leaves and chirping insects.
But I heard it clear as day.
It was a call, subtle yet insistent, beckoning her deeper into the forest. Curiosity sparked within her, urging her forward. She ventured further than usual, leaving behind the familiar paths, her bare feet treading upon moss-covered stones and fallen branches. The air grew heavy with the scent of pine and damp earth, the sunlight filtering through the canopy in dappled patterns. The whisper grew stronger, guiding her toward a secluded grove shrouded in an ethereal mist. Ancient oaks, their branches gnarled and twisted, stood sentinel around the perimeter, their leaves whispering secrets to the wind. In the center, bathed in an otherworldly glow, stood an archway.
It was old, older than time itself, its stone worn smooth by the passage of countless seasons.
Vines, thick as serpents, entwined its pillars, their leaves shimmering with an iridescent light. As Elara approached, her hand drawn as if by an invisible force, she felt a surge of energy, a tingling sensation that spread through her entire being. This was no ordinary archway. This was a portal, a gateway to the unknown, and it was calling her name. Elara's breath caught in her throat. The archway pulsed with an energy she could feel in her very bones. It called to her, a siren song, resonating deep within her soul.
Hesitantly, I reached out, my fingers trembling slightly.
The tips of her fingers brushed against the cool, moss-covered stone. A jolt surged through her, a shockwave of pure magic. The archway flared, illuminating the grove in an ethereal glow. Vines pulsed with light, their leaves shimmering with iridescent hues. The air crackled with energy, sending a shiver down Elara's spine. Fear threatened to consume her, yet it was overshadowed by an overwhelming sense of wonder. The forest around her seemed to hold its breath, every leaf, every creature, caught in the thrall of the archway's magic. Elara felt a strange pull, a magnetic force drawing her closer. It was as if the archway recognized her, welcoming her with open arms. She was meant to step through. She knew it in her heart.
Taking a deep breath, I steeled my nerves. I had always felt different, set apart from the other villagers. This, I realized, was the reason why. This was the adventure I had been waiting for, the destiny I was meant to embrace.
With one last glance at the familiar woods, Elara stepped forward. The air shimmered around her, the ground beneath her feet no longer solid but a swirling vortex of energy. She stumbled, caught off guard by the disorientation, but a sense of exhilaration quickly replaced her fear. The world dissolved around her, the familiar sights and sounds of the forest fading into a blur of colors and light. She felt weightless, as if she were floating on a cloud, carried away by an invisible current. Time seemed to stand still, yet everything around her was moving at an impossible speed. Then, just as suddenly as it began, the sensation ceased. Elara found herself standing on solid ground once more, her senses slowly returning.
Blinking, I took in my surroundings, my heart pounding in my chest. Gone was the familiar forest, replaced by a landscape unlike anything I had ever seen before.
Towering trees, their trunks aglow with an inner light, reached for the sky, their branches interwoven to form a canopy overhead, filtering the sunlight into 1,000 shimmering shards. Crystals, large and small, sprouted from the ground like glittering flowers, their facets reflecting the light in a dazzling display of color. The air hummed with a subtle energy, a palpable sense of magic that sent shivers down Elara's spine. Elara took a tentative step forward, her bare feet sinking into the soft, moss-covered ground. The air was alive with the scent of wildflowers and pine, a sweet and heady aroma that filled her lungs with each breath.
Sounds, soft and melodic, reached her ears. The tinkling of unseen bells, the rustling of leaves, the murmur of running water.
It was as if the forest itself was welcoming her, its symphony of sounds a harmonious greeting. As she ventured deeper into this enchanted realm, she noticed movement out of the corner of her eye. A flash of color, a rustle in the undergrowth, a pair of luminous eyes peering at her from behind a tree trunk. Creatures, unlike any she had ever encountered, observed her with a mixture of curiosity and caution.
A small winged creature, its body glowing with an internal light, flitted closer, its gossamer wings leaving a trail of sparkling dust in their wake. It hovered before her, its large iridescent eyes studying her intently.
Elara, her initial fear replaced by fascination, reached out a hand slowly, her fingers trembling slightly. The creature, unafraid, perched on her finger, its tiny claws surprisingly strong.
A wave of warmth spread through Elara, a sense of connection she had never experienced before. It was as if she could understand the creature's thoughts, its emotions.
It was a feeling of pure joy, of belonging, a confirmation that she was exactly where she was meant to be. Elara had found Arventia, and Arventia, it seemed, had been waiting for her. The forest hummed with unseen energy. Elara, still reeling from her passage through the archway, felt a strange familiarity with this place, as if she had been here before, in another life perhaps. The air itself whispered secrets, ancient tales carried on the breeze.
As she ventured deeper into the woods, the trees seemed to lean closer, their branches intertwining overhead to form a verdant tunnel. Sunlight filtered through the leaves in dappled patterns, illuminating the forest floor in a mosaic of light and shadow.
The air grew heavy with the scent of pine needles and damp earth, a fragrance both invigorating and strangely comforting. The deeper she went, the more she became aware of the forest's inhabitants. Creatures, unlike any she had ever seen before, emerged from the undergrowth, their eyes wide with curiosity. A family of deer, their antlers adorned with delicate flowers, grazed peacefully in a sunlit clearing. A squirrel, its fur a vibrant shade of blue, chattered at her from a branch overhead.
A sense of peace settled over Elara, a tranquility she had never known before. This was a place untouched by the worries and sorrows of the world she had left behind. This was a place of magic and wonder, where anything seemed possible.
Yet beneath the surface beauty, she sensed an underlying current of sadness, a longing for something lost. It was a feeling that resonated deep within her own heart, a shared yearning for a time and place she had never known. As Elara wandered through the enchanted forest, she came across a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center stood a magnificent oak, its branches reaching towards the heavens like the arms of a giant. The air around the tree crackled with energy, and a faint melody, both haunting and beautiful, seemed to emanate from its heartwood. Drawn by an invisible force, Elara approached the tree cautiously. As she drew closer, the melody grew stronger, resolving itself into a mournful song. It spoke of a kingdom lost, of a magic stolen, of a queen betrayed. Tears welled up in Elara's eyes, although she couldn't explain why. The song resonated deep within her soul, awakening memories that were not her own. Suddenly, the song ceased. Elara looked up, startled. Perched on a branch above her sat a fox, its fur as white as snow, its eyes like molten gold. It regarded her with an ancient wisdom, its gaze piercing through her very being.
"Greetings, child," the fox spoke, its voice surprisingly deep and resonant. "You have heard the song of my heart, the lament of a fallen kingdom."
Elara stared at the fox, her mouth agape. Animals did not speak, not in the world she knew. Yet here, in this magical realm, anything seemed possible. "Who are you?" she whispered, her voice trembling with awe.
"I am a lyric," the fox replied, its tail swishing gently back and forth. "Guardian of this forest, keeper of Arventia's secrets."
"Arventia," she stammered. Is this the lost kingdom?"
"Indeed, child. This is all that remains of a once great realm now shrouded in mist and sorrow." The fox leaped down from the branch, landing gracefully before her. "You are not from this place," it stated, more than asked.
"No," Elara confirmed, shaking her head. She recounted her journey through the archway, her fascination with the stories of Arventia.
Lyric listened intently, its golden eyes never leaving hers.
"The archway chooses its travelers carefully," Lyric finally spoke, its voice low and thoughtful. "It seems you are destined for great things, child, destined to walk a path few dare to tread."
A surge of excitement, mixed with a healthy dose of trepidation, coursed through Elara. She had dreamed of adventure, yearned for something more than her ordinary life in the village. But was she ready for this? Was she ready to face the challenges that lay ahead?
Lyric, sensing her apprehension, brushed against her leg, its fur surprisingly soft. "Do not be afraid, child," it said, its voice soothing. "The magic of Arventia flows within you. Trust your instincts, follow your heart, and you will find your way."
Elara spent the next few days in Lyric's company, exploring the wonders of the Enchanted Forest. She learned of the ancient magic that permeated the land, of the creatures that made their home among the trees, and of the history of Arventia itself.
The Heartstone amplified Queen Lyra's own magic, Lyric explained, its voice tinged with sadness. It allowed her to channel the very life force of Arventia, to protect her people and preserve the delicate harmony of the realm.
But Queen Lyra's reign came to an abrupt end when her trusted advisor, a sorcerer named Malcor, betrayed her.
Driven by greed and lust for power, Malcor stole the Heartstone, Lyric continued, its golden eyes flashing with anger. With it, he sought to control Arventia's magic for his own nefarious purposes.
The theft of the Heartstone had catastrophic consequences. The land, deprived of its magical source, began to wither and decay. The protective mist, once a shimmering veil, descended like a shroud, concealing the kingdom from the outside world. Queen Lyra, her magic diminished, was powerless to stop Malcor or reverse the curse that had befallen her kingdom.
And what became of Queen Lyra? Elara asked, her voice barely a whisper.
Lyric sighed, its breath a soft puff of air. "Her fate remains a mystery," it replied. "Some say she perished, her life force extinguished along with the Heartstone's power. Others believe she went into hiding, waiting for the day when Arventia could be restored to its former glory."
The weight of Lyric's words settled heavily upon Elara's shoulders. She had stumbled into a destiny far greater than she could have ever imagined. The fate of Arventia, it seemed, rested in her hands. But could she possibly live up to such a monumental task? Could she find the Heartstone, defeat Malcor, and restore the lost kingdom to its former glory? The challenge seemed insurmountable, yet a spark of determination ignited within her heart. She wouldn't let Arventia down. She wouldn't let Lyric down. She would find a way. The weight of Arventia's fate pressed down on Elara. Malcor's betrayal, the stolen Heartstone, the kingdom's fading magic. It was a heavy burden for anyone, let alone a girl from a quiet village. Doubt gnawed at her. Could she, Elara, really make a difference? Was she enough to mend a broken kingdom?
Lyric, wise and perceptive, sensed Elara's turmoil. "The journey ahead will be fraught with danger," the White Fox admitted, its voice a low murmur in the stillness of the forest. "Malcor's power grows with each passing day, and the Heartstone's light dims in his grasp."
Elara, her heart pounding in her chest, met Lyric's gaze. "But there's still hope, isn't there?" she asked, her voice barely a whisper. "The Heartstone, it can still be found."
A flicker of something akin to a smile crossed Lyric's features. "Hope never truly dies, child," the fox replied, its voice filled with quiet strength. "It lingers in the whispers of the wind, in the rustling of the leaves, in the beating of your own courageous heart."
Elara, her spirits lifted by Lyric's words, felt a surge of determination. She wouldn't let fear paralyze her. She wouldn't let Arventia down.
"Tell me what I must do," she said, her voice firm and resolute. "Tell me how to find the Heartstone and defeat Malcor."
The path to the Heartstone is shrouded in mystery. It lies hidden within the whispering labyrinth, a place of shifting paths and perilous illusions, guarded by Malcor's most loyal servants.
Elara shivered despite the warmth of the sun filtering through the trees. The whispering labyrinth. Just the name sent a shiver down her spine. She had heard whispers of it in the villagers' tales, stories told in hushed tones around crackling fires. It was a place of legend, feared by all who dared to speak its name.
But you will not face this challenge alone, child. I will guide you, protect you as best I can. My knowledge of Arventia's ancient paths and my connection to the forest's magic will be your shield and your sword.
Elara, her heart warmed by Lyric's unwavering loyalty, reached out to stroke the fox's soft fur.
"Thank you, Lyric. I don't know what I would do without you."
Lyric nuzzled her hand affectionately.
"We are bound by destiny, child. Your quest is now my quest, and together we will face whatever challenges lie ahead."
The journey to the Whispering Labyrinth was long and arduous. Elara, guided by Lyric's unerring sense of direction, traversed dense forests, crossed treacherous ravines, and navigated through shimmering meadows teeming with strange and wonderful creatures. Along the way, Lyric shared his knowledge of Arventia's flora and fauna, teaching Elara how to identify edible plants, how to communicate with the forest animals, and how to harness the subtle energies of the land. Elara, eager to learn, absorbed Lyric's teachings like a sponge. She discovered a natural affinity for the ancient magic that permeated Arventia, her touch coaxing wilted flowers back to life, her voice calming the fears of a startled fawn, her presence bringing a sense of peace to the troubled spirits of the forest. As they journeyed deeper into the heart of Arventia, the landscape grew wilder, the air thick with an almost tangible sense of magic. The trees, ancient and gnarled, seemed to watch their progress with knowing eyes, their branches whispering secrets carried on the wind. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting long shadows across the land, they arrived at the edge of a vast, dark forest. A sense of foreboding settled over Elara, a prickling sensation on the back of her neck that spoke of unseen dangers. The air hung heavy and silent, devoid of the usual sounds of birdsong and rustling leaves.
This is it, child. The Whispering Labyrinth. Be on your guard. Danger lurks at every turn.
Elara, her heart pounding in her chest, took a deep breath and stepped into the labyrinth. The air grew instantly colder, the scent of pine replaced by a cloying sweetness that made her head spin. The trees, their branches twisted and gnarled, pressed close, their leaves blocking out the last rays of the setting sun. The path beneath her feet, barely visible in the gathering gloom, twisted and turned, leading them deeper and deeper into the heart of the labyrinth. Elara, her senses on high alert, scanned their surroundings, her hand resting lightly on the small knife Lyric had gifted her. The silence was unnerving. Not even the chirping of crickets disturbed the stillness of the air. It was as if the forest itself held its breath, watching, waiting. Elara could feel her own heart beating in her chest, a steady rhythm against the oppressive silence.
Stay close, child, and trust your instincts. The labyrinth plays tricks on the mind, twisting perceptions, amplifying fears.
Elara nodded, her grip tightening on the knife. She had come too far to turn back now. She would face the labyrinth's challenges head-on, her courage fueled by the hope of restoring Arventia to its former glory. The fate of a kingdom rested on her shoulders, and she would not falter. The Whispering Labyrinth lived up to its name. Every turn brought a new challenge, a new illusion designed to test Elara's resolve. Trees morphed into menacing creatures, their branches reaching out like claws. Whispers, soft and insidious, wormed their way into her mind, planting seeds of doubt and despair.
Trust your heart, child. Don't let the shadows deceive you. The truth lies within you.
Lyric, ever vigilant, guided her through the maze, his keen senses detecting the subtle shifts in energy, the telltale signs of illusion. Elara clung to his words like a lifeline. She fought against the whispers, reminding herself of her purpose, of the hope she carried for Arventia. She drew strength from the bond she shared with Lyric, from the knowledge that she was not alone in this fight. They faced trials that tested their limits. Glowing orbs, pulsating with a hypnotic rhythm, blocked their path, their light threatening to trap them in an endless loop of illusion. Razor-sharp vines, their thorns dripping with a venomous liquid, whipped out from the undergrowth, forcing them to rely on their agility and quick reflexes. Through each challenge, Elara felt a growing connection to the Heartstone. It called to her, a faint beacon in the darkness, guiding her deeper into the labyrinth. Its energy resonated within her, amplifying her own innate magic, gifting her with glimpses of premonition, flashes of insight that helped them navigate the labyrinth's treacherous paths. She discovered a strength within herself she never knew she possessed, a resilience forged in the fires of adversity, a determination fueled by the hope she carried for Arventia's future. She learned to trust her instincts, to rely on the bond she shared with Lyric, to face her fears head-on and emerge stronger on the other side. One particularly harrowing encounter found them facing a monstrous spider, its eyes glowing with malevolent intent, its web spun from strands of pure shadow. The creature lunged, its fangs dripping with venom, But Elara, her reflexes honed by days of constant vigilance, reacted instinctively. She channeled her magic, her hands glowing with an emerald light, and unleashed a surge of energy that sent the spider reeling. Lyric, quick as a flash, darted forward, his teeth bared in a fierce snarl, and landed a blow that sent the creature whimpering back into the darkness. Exhausted but exhilarated, Elara and Lyric shared a look of triumph. They had faced the labyrinth's challenges and emerged victorious. Their bond, forged in the fires of adversity, was stronger than ever, their trust in each other unwavering. As they ventured deeper into the labyrinth, the air grew heavy with a palpable sense of magic. The trees thinned, revealing a clearing bathed in an ethereal glow. In the center, resting on a pedestal of ancient stone, pulsed the Heartstone. It was even more magnificent than Elara had imagined. A crystal, larger than her hand, cut with 1,000 facets, each one reflecting a different aspect of Arventia's magic. It pulsed with a gentle rhythm, a heartbeat that resonated deep within Elara's soul. But guarding the Heartstone, his eyes blazing with a cold, malevolent light, stood Malcor. He was tall and imposing, his features once handsome now twisted by greed and lust for power. He held a dark staff, its tip crowned with a shard of black crystal that pulsed in sync with the Heartstone, a parasitic leech draining its life force.
So the little thief has come to claim her prize. You are foolish to think you can defeat me, child. The Heartstone's power is mine, and with it, I will rule Arventia.
Fear threatened to consume Elara, but she pushed it down, replacing it with a steely determination. She had come too far, faced too much to back down now. The fate of Arventia rested on her shoulders, and she would not fail.
You may have stolen the Heartstone, Malcor, but you will not win. Arventia will be free from your tyranny.
Brave words from a naive child. You know nothing of power, of the forces at play here. This world is ruled by strength, by those who are willing to seize what they desire. Consequences be damned.
You mistake greed for strength, Malcor. True power lies in protecting those weaker than yourself, in preserving the balance, not disrupting it for your own selfish gain.
Sentimental fools. You will learn soon enough that the only truth in this world is that of the victor, and I, Malcor, will be victorious.
He raised his staff, the black crystal at its tip pulsing with a malevolent energy, and a wave of dark magic erupted from it, engulfing the clearing in a shroud of shadows. The shadows swirled around Elara, threatening to engulf her in their suffocating embrace. Fear, primal and instinctive, surged through her, but she fought against it, her grip tightening on the small knife Lyric had given her. The Heartstone pulsed faintly in the distance, its light a beacon of hope in the encroaching darkness.
Your defiance is futile, child. The Heartstone's power will be mine, and Arventia will bow before me.
Lyric, his white fur standing on end, snarled defiance, his body a blur of motion as he darted forward, fangs bared. He harried Malcor, a whirlwind of white against the sorcerer's dark robes, distracting him, drawing his attention away from Elara.
Find the Heartstone, Elara. Break his hold on it. Arventia's fate rests in your hands.
Elara, her heart pounding in her chest, knew this was her chance. While Lyric kept Malcor occupied, she had to reach the Heartstone to break the sorcerer's hold on its power. She could feel its call, a faint but insistent pull, guiding her through the swirling shadows. Elara stumbled through the labyrinth, her senses overloaded, the air thick with the clash of magic. Malcor's laughter echoed behind her, a mocking counterpoint to Lyric's determined snarls. But through it all, the Heartstone's call grew stronger, urging her onward. She burst into the clearing, her lungs burning, her vision blurred with exertion. The Heartstone pulsed on its pedestal, its light struggling against the dark tendrils that snaked from Malcor's staff.
No!
Your little pet is no match for me, and neither are you. Malcor turned, a cruel smile twisting his lips as he saw the anguish on her face.
But as Malcor prepared to deliver the final blow, Elara acted. Remembering Lyric's teachings, she reached deep within herself, drawing on the wellspring of magic she had discovered within her heart. Closing her eyes, she pictured Arventia as it should be, vibrant, alive, its magic flowing freely. When she opened her eyes, they blazed with an emerald fire, her hands outstretched towards Malcor. A surge of raw power, as ancient and untamed as the forest itself, erupted from her, a shockwave of pure energy that slammed into Malcor, throwing him back from his captive. The shadows that had cloaked the clearing recoiled, shrieking as if in pain, as Elara's magic ripped through the unnatural darkness. The Heartstone pulsed brightly, its light a beacon that pierced the remaining shadows, bathing the clearing in its warmth. The last of Malcor's shadows dissipated, leaving him weakened and disoriented. The black crystal at the tip of his staff cracked, its malevolent light flickering before dying completely. The Heartstone, freed from its parasitic grip, surged with renewed power, its light a symphony of color that bathed the clearing in its warmth. As Malcor crumpled to the ground, his features twisted in a mask of rage and despair. Elara rushed to Lyric's side. The net of dark energy that had held him captive dissipated, and the white fox struggled to his feet, his body racked with tremors.
Elara, you did it.
Are you all right?
Elara embraced him gently, her heart filled with a mixture of joy and concern.
I will recover. The darkness has been lifted thanks to you. Arventia is free.
As his words sank in, a wave of dizziness washed over Elara. The exertion, the emotional turmoil, it was all catching up to her. She swayed, her legs threatening to give way beneath her.
Rest, child, you have earned it.
Elara nodded, her eyelids drooping. As she drifted into unconsciousness, she saw the Heartstone rise from its pedestal, its light engulfing her in a warm embrace. It felt like coming home. When Elara awoke, she found herself lying in a bed of soft moss, beneath the branches of the ancient oak where she had first met Lyric. The forest around her thrummed with life, the air filled with the songs of birds and the scent of wildflowers. Arventia was healing. She sat up, her gaze drawn to the figure sitting peacefully beside her. Lyric, his white fur gleaming in the dappled sunlight, smiled at her, his golden eyes filled with warmth and gratitude.
The mists have lifted. Arventia is emerging from the darkness stronger than ever before.